Here we have a soft tissue technique to help decrease the muscle activity on the chest muscles. And we're going to do that by using the Defining Motion mobility ball. So we can target multiple areas of the chest. And so for these techniques, we're going to be looking at the pectoralis major and also the pectoralis minor. And to get to the pectoralis minor, we're going to be following the clavicle towards the outside of the shoulder. So follow it along, and then underneath you'll see this bony area here, or you'll feel it. And that's the coracoid process, and multiple muscles attach onto there, but the pectoralis minor is the one that we're interested in for this technique. And so it's got an attachment point here, and it will come down to the third, fourth and fifth rib. So when we come to do the technique for this one, we're going to be just dropping off the clavicle and just underneath the coracoid process. We can also target the sternal fibres of pectoralis major, and that's going to be coming through from the sternum and to the proximal humerus. So, and that's where we can just change the position slightly. When it comes to lefts and rights, we're actually going to be doing more of a different technique on the left side, and we're going to be coming more just off the sternum. And so if you have a situation where the arm has come closer towards the thorax on the left side, then we're going to be using the technique of just coming off the sternum, and then we're going to be looking to create pressure towards that shoulder. So we want to move the arm away from the thorax on the left side. On the right side, we might have a situation where the thorax has turned in towards the arm. And so on that technique, that's where we're going to come underneath this coracoid process, create pressure towards the sternum, and then look to move the thorax away from the arm. So lefts and rights are going to be different. So starting off with the left side, I'm going to be coming just off the sternum, so just on the mid part of the chest. Because this is a small tool, there are multiple areas that you can target. But just to keep it simple, we're going to be starting off into the middle, so just off the sternum. So this is where I'm going to be turning away, so you have to excuse me. And so I'm going to be facing the wall, or a door in this case, and I'm going to be putting pressure onto that area by leaning in slightly on that contact. So I'm just off the sternum, and I'm just going to tune it to where I think that I'm more onto the muscle. And from there, my right arm is just by my side, and then I've turned towards the right side. So from here, I'm starting off with my hand quite low, because we can tune this by raising up your hand. But the problem that you might run into here is if you have a situation where the arm has come across towards your thorax, then you might not be able to move this arm away. And so every time you try to move your arm away, you might shrug with your shoulder or drive your neck forward. So you have to be careful. So I would suggest just coming off the sternum, place the ball onto the mid part of the chest, and then start with your hand quite low. And then over time, you can then come up a little bit higher. But starting off, have it quite low, and all you're going to look to do is just put a slight bit of pressure with your hand in towards the wall, and you'll find that your thorax will then turn to the right slightly. Once it's doing that, then that's where you take your breaths. So we're going to do a silent inhale through your nose, and then breathing out through your mouth. So depending on how much discomfort you can tolerate, what we don't want to be doing is going into extreme discomfort, because that's just going to tense you up, and then we're not going to achieve anything. So we want to, if there's a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being very uncomfortable, we're going to stay at around a 3 or a 4. So we want to be breathing and not tensing up. So on the right side, this is where I'm going to come just below that coracoid process to start off with, and I'm going to look to make a contact and then drag the tissue towards the sternum. Whereas on the left side, I created a contact and I tried to drag the tissue towards the left shoulder. So this is where I'm going to be placing the ball. So you can't see it, but I'm going to be turning my head to the left this time. Left arm is just relaxed, and my right hand is just come away from the body slightly. And again, I'm just looking to create a little bit of pressure and just create a little bit of traction towards the sternum. And then from there, unshrugging the shoulders, relaxed, and then that's where you take your breath in through your nose and then breathing out through your mouth. So when you're in these positions, just being aware of your foot contacts at the same time. So if I'm here and I've just created a little push towards my left side, I want to make sure that I hold on to my left foot contacts, or so I don't fall to the outside of my foot. And if I'm doing it from the left side to the right, and I create a turn, just a small turn towards the right side, then I want to make sure that I'm not rolling to the outside of my right foot. So just regarding breaths, so we can do around 5 breaths and around 2 to 3 sets of 5 breaths on each side.